Yes, in the interview with Rock Bottom radio show and YouTube channel, Marjana Semkina, the voice of Iamthemorning. Hello.
Yes, hi. It's very nice to meet you and very nice to be here.
Yeah. It was a nice and very good concert. You had some technical problems with your guitar, but it was a great concert.
I think she just refused to play for me because Ricard played before and he's such a good guitar player.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, we'll try again tomorrow in Hanover.
Yes, and how is the new material from the Bell accepted by the audience generally? You were on tour with Riverside, I guess, a few months ago. Are they still familiar with your new material?
I have a feeling that the new material gets accepted even better than, the old material. Maybe because people heard the album because Casco put a lot of, energy into promoting it. So everybody's familiar with it, or maybe it's just the material is of a different kind, so it goes down live better than the old one. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's the energy, because it's more exciting to play the new material. At least I enjoy it. Well, I mean, I enjoy playing everything, but the new material is sort of still fresh, so it's just so exciting.
Yeah.
And maybe they just feel it. But generally speaking, the crowds were just so amazing on Riverside tour, and today in Hamburg it was just wonderful. I didn't expect it, because we never played with the Flower Kings before, and if we have a connection with Riverside, because Mariusz sang on the previous album, so we expected some people to know us.
Yeah.
There is no reason for us to expect the Flower Kings fans to know us, and still it seemed that they sort of liked it, because just judging by the reaction. So I'm very excited about the tour.
And The Bell is an outstanding album. You talked about it, the lyrics, it's a dark content, death, and all these aspects. So, and you explained it sometimes before, the concept of The Bell, it has to deals with death. Could you explain it?
I just like death. The Bell is a funny thing. It was so exciting to work on this album because I was very inspired by, I spent a lot of time in England, and I finally got to see all the works of Purify-Lights live, because it's my favorite art movement since I was a kid. And they have a lot of paintings in the galleries all over the United Kingdom, where I went, and I studied a lot of art history and like Victorian period, and I discovered so many interesting things that I didn't know about. So interesting concepts. So I decided to write a little bit about this, and we ended up having an entire album about based around Victorian history and culture, and I'm just, I feel very passionate about it, so it's just such a pleasure to be playing those songs.
Yes, it's a great album. It was recorded in different studios and countries, so it's a very unusual composing and recording process. Or I'm wrong, is it hard to do it in various studios and countries? What could you describe your working process?
Well, I think over the years we sort of adjusted to remote work, because we've been working like this for years now, because I travel a lot and Gleb and myself are rarely in one place. So we even compose songs while being in different countries. We used to write while being in one room and just sitting on a piano and playing, but it doesn't really happen very often anymore. And we just have... the main principle for us is who to work with and not where to work with people. So if we find somebody who we think is a very good fit for our new material, then we ask them to join, and we don't care if they're in Canada. So they just do their part of the work, and it's just amazing to see people coming together from different continents working on things. And all of them are great, wonderful musicians, so creative, and all of them bring something into our material and kind of look at it from a different angle, so it's fresh.
And the musicians who played with you tonight were the same guys who were recording the album?
Well, Evan Carson, he plays percussion, and he's been playing with us as a session percussionist for a few years now, and we recorded him for Lighthouse and also for the Bell, alongside with Svetlana Shumkova, who plays drum kit, and Evan recorded percussion, and well, the album before Gavin Harrison did the drum kit, and Evan added the percussion. So it's very nice to have him with us. We just have a very good chemistry, and him and Gleb are really good together. So it's great. And the cellist, he's actually a new session player. That was the first gig we played together. It's one of the Russian conservatory guys. So yeah, we kind of need to stay flexible because classical string players, they're not very flexible when it comes to scheduling and the touring, because usually there are orchestras that they work and don't let them. So, but luckily, conservatory has wonderful musicians. So, yeah.
Okay, yes, and your music and your singing style reminds me to the voice and music of Tori Amos. Am I right?
I mean, it reminds of different things to different people. So I guess if it reminds you of Tori Amos, then you're right that it reminds you of Tori Amos. But I mean, it's just a piano-based music with female vocals, so I guess it's logical. But I don't think there are a lot of similarities.
Oh yeah, okay, good. I thought she is your role model. Or
oh well.
No.
I definitely appreciate what she does, and I used to listen to her when I was a teen. But she carries a bit of a different energy from what I'm into, but she's definitely a wonderful musician and such a powerful woman. So, but I wouldn't call her a role model.
Okay.
I don't really think I have many.
No, okay, you are your own artist, your own idol.
Yeah, I'm a little bit out of this world, to be honest, because I always had this feeling like I was supposed to be born in a different century, like 19th, for example.
Yeah.
So if I have role models, they would be like from 19th century or something.
Ah, yes, okay. Good to know. And yeah, I've listened to your forthcoming solo album, Sleepwalking. It will be released in the February of 2020. It's a great album as well. So who will support you on this album? Who will be the musician on this album?
Well, that's a good question. Initially, I wanted to use as little people on this album as I can, because I wanted it to be sort of a solitary work. I needed this little space with maybe a couple of the sound engineer and the arranger. But then I ended up inviting a few friends to play. And so earlier this year, I sang on Jordan Rudess' solo album. And for this album, I asked him to play with me, which was, and then he agreed, so we have a beautiful song together. And I also have Craig Blundell playing drums and Nick Baggs playing bass on a few songs, a couple of songs.
Great.
And then Svetlana Shumkova does a few songs, a couple of songs on drums too, so she played on the bell. And it's the same sound engineer as did Iamthemorning, Vlad Avi from Canada.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I'm very excited about it.
That sounds great. And did this solo album give you more artistical freedom than your work with Iamthemorning?
Oh, I think that was one of the reasons, because that was Gleb. Because Iamthemorning evolved over time, and our writing process became a little different. And even though there are a few songs that I wrote myself on the bell, like a couple of songs, and then Gleb added layers to them, I sort of felt like doing something more personal, singing about things that I wouldn't be singing in the band, and just maybe approaching things a little bit differently, because Sleepwalking is a pretty straightforward album. I would never call it prog. I think it's like, it's not progressive, it's like regressive, as we joke. So it's like, it has a very straightforward songwriting, and I wasn't like particularly trying to make it appealing for the prog audience, because I think I've had enough of this labeling. So yeah, it's just a thing of its own. It's just an album that I felt like writing. So yeah, and I'm happy with it.
Okay, of course. And are you a sleepwalker, or what's it about? How do you come to this title?
Well, I think it's mostly connected to the insomnia because I have a lot of sleeping problems, and it's been haunting me for years now. And originally, I started writing years ago. I mostly wrote at night, so. This word, sleepwalking, it's been with me for a long time. I used to release little demos under this name, and I worked very hard on hiding all of them. So now as a homage to the past and to my sleeping disorders, I decided to call it this because it's a nighttime music. I think it feels appropriate to be listening to it at night, so it just felt like a very appropriate title.
Okay, and did you write all songs by yourself?
Yeah, I wrote everything by myself. Well, all of the songs, and then I got my friend Grigor Losenkov to arrange them. He wrote arrangements for the string orchestra, and then Vlad he recorded some guitars and also kind of co-produced the album and mixed and mastered it. So it's been, if not for Iamthemorning, this would have been a very quick process, but I had to take like 6 months break to work on the bell with Gleb. So it took almost a year to put everything together, but just because I had to take breaks for Iamthemorning recording and touring.
Okay, yes. And let's come back to Iamthemorning. So the music of Iamthemorning is often labeled as chamber prog. Could you explain it?
Well, yeah, it's chamber music and it's also progressive, so it ends up being chamber prog. That was Gleb again.
Yeah.
It's like chamber-driven progressive music, which I think is quite appropriate for Iamthemorning because we have some of the traits of the music is very kind of relevant to what progressive music is supposed to be like. But at the same time, it has a lot of traits of chamber music. Like it's like the piano and a lot of strings and orchestra arrangements. So I think it's rather appropriate.
I guess your music has got elements from classical music. So did you and Gleb study music before you started Iamthemorning? Did you have a professional education?
Gleb definitely did. He's been studying music for his entire life. I think he started learning piano at the age of 6, and then he went to the music school, and then to the college, and then to the conservatory. So now he's like as good as it gets. I never did get education because my parents didn't want me to become a musician. They thought that, well, I mean, they were right when they said that you can't earn for a living with music, but at least you can make your life a lot of fun. And I don't have regrets. So I never got a proper education. I started taking singing lessons after the first album was released because I realized that I have to kind of develop and grow. Well, it's everything. That's all it is about it. It's you have to develop as like a professional. Even if you start from scratch, even if if you think you're too old to learn something new, that's a lie. If you say, well, I already have an album recorded, why should I go and study now? That's also a lie. So yeah, so I'm working very hard on that, but I'm still completely musically uneducated.
Okay.
I do everything as I feel it, and I think this is why myself and Gleb is a good combination, because he brings in the academic part to it, and I bring whatever I feel would be nice to listen to.
Understand. And was it hard for a Russian band to get a record deal?
Oh God, yes, it took ages. Yeah, well, you know how labels, especially as big and respectable as Kscope, they get like hundreds of demos every day. I receive questions about how to get signed to Kscope on a daily basis, basically. So it was difficult to catch their attention, and the only thing that works is actually meeting them in real person, like in real life.
Yeah.
But even then, we had to wait because when you deal with businesses, everything is moving very slowly. But yeah, eventually, everything is possible, I guess, if you work hard enough. And if your music is good enough, I think sooner or later, if you're very persistent, somebody's gonna notice.
Yes. And do the Russian music fans, do they know you? Do you have success in your own in Russia for yourself?
No, not really. Our attendance, like our gig attendance in Russia, is worse than in Europe and in the UK, which is pitiful, but I guess it is what it is. Because we don't really have a prog scene as it is in Russia, and this type of music isn't very popular. Because I guess it makes you think, and nobody wants to think because everybody's just sad all the time, and just life is difficult in Russia.
I know.
So yeah, so people want something to entertain them, and that's not what we do.
No, it's not normal entertainment.
Well, I mean, I can be an entertainer,
Yeah,
but it's
of
going to be an
course.
entertainment based on jokes about death and dead people, which I'm not sure.
Yes. And what's brings the future for Iamthemorning and your personal solo career? How would you see it? What's up for the next year?
I can't really comment on that one because I have no idea. We've got some plans, but nothing is confirmed yet, so everything is just future is a mystery, as they say.
Okay, these were my questions. Do you have further information for your fans?
Well, I guess I would like to mention that so I have a Patreon page. That's kind of a website where I put a lot of information and backstage materials from my album recording and Iamthemorning album recording, and I fill it with a lot of fun content. And people from Patreon helped me fund the record because I'm moving to the UK right now, so I created this page specifically to move to England. But yeah, I funded an entire album over the last 6 months with the help of Patreon, so if anybody's curious, they should check it out. It's a fun place to be.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Marjana,
Thank
for
you
this
very
nice
much.
interview. All the best for the future. Golden records, sold out concerts, fame, fortune.
Fame and fortune.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks for the questions.
Thank you.